Take calls from agents.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
thank you.
That
That was an agent, that was a player.
Dayton and Holman, are they 90 minutes ready and fit?
Well, it'd be up to them to prove that they are. If they get the opportunity, I've got a good idea in my head, and sometimes if you ask a player, they'll always say yes. But as a manager, you got to think: is he going to be more influential coming on when everybody's tired, whoever it is? Do I start him and see whether he's fit, and then take him off when he's tired? We have all those scenarios, but you've got 11 players like that. You don't say publicly when somebody's not feeling well, but they've gone out there, and you have to take someone off for different reasons, and but obviously you have to keep that in house and not get upset when people get upset that I've made some of those decisions. But I've got more information available to me than others.
Yeah, that almost sort of comes on to what I was going to say next. In the last two games, you've been forced to change the team by necessity, going from starting with a back three to a back four. Is that something that you're thinking of doing from a start of a game, just to try and find that right mix again?
Well, I've got to find the group of players that I want to start, and then when I find that group of players, then I work out whether I need to play a 4 or a 5, and that's how I do it. Really, I don't just say I'll play a 4 now. It's depends on, if it's during a game, it depends on the nature of the game, of course, where we are, what we've got to do. Have we got to go for it? Have we got to tidy it up? We've got to stay in the game, or keep the game if we're in the lead. But those decisions are made when I know exactly who my team is.
You mentioned bringing in 3 or 4 loans. You've already got, I think, 6 here. Obviously, you can only have a certain amount in a squad. Sounds like you made your mind up on the ones that are sort of been on the fringes.
Well, you can have more, but you can only play 5. So if I had 7, 8 or something, then I could still do that. But you can only play 5 of them. So it's a little bit pointless because you're wasting players' times as well as your own sort of thing to have 3 players not doing something. But I'll work that out as and when. We've done a lot of work over the last few weeks, as you can tell by my eyes and my throat. But we've done a lot of talking and a lot of watching and a lot of soul searching, and I'm looking forward to the second half of the season.
Yeah, the 2 you've got loan players that have played most games, Dickie and Griffiths, they're both up after the Colchester game. Have you made a decision on those already, and have you made decisions?
We're still talking to the clubs at the moment, as you will do with lads that have played regular, and a club has the opportunity to call them back if they want. They can say we'd like them to stay. We can say actually we don't want them to stay. But in the end, we'll agree something with the club, and that'll come out in the next couple of days.
Do you have to base what you do there, but what you do next based on those decisions, though? Because obviously they're 2 pretty integral members of your team. So
well, again, I've got a lot more information in my head than I can give you, sort of thing. And it's worth asking the question, but I might be tired, but I'm not stupid.
Finally, how important is it to, as Paul said earlier, to concentrate on this game rather than what comes next? I know everybody's looking to January in the first influx.
Well, no, I've had to mention that because that's what people ask you coming into January. But of course, our training and everything is very much geared to the next game, and if we can get a result against Wycombe, then that'll be a fantastic 3 points for us, especially when the other teams a lot of them don't play till the following day. But it will certainly get us out of any relegation if I can't see all the teams winning that we can catch. So it's a carrot for us to finish the year on a higher note than it is at the moment.
Very finally, how will you look back on 2016? What's been your highlight?
Well, the highlight was the promotion. There's no doubt about that, and we have to respect these lads for what they've done and what they did for our club. And it's not their fault sometimes that the levels are are different. They are. It's much higher, and then the next level's higher again. Our budget means that we can't look 2 levels higher than ourselves, which maybe Bristol Rovers could have done, but we can't do that. We've got to try and compete with the middle range teams at this level, and if we went up it'd be the same. You know, we can't look to let's have a first division budget and get first division players. That's not going to happen. But we got to respect the lads that are here that have done it for the club. I don't think that we would have got promotion last year if we hadn't taken the stance of telling all these boys that they'd be playing in the league. You know, you look at people like Stoz, it was, you know, and Wrighty, they hadn't played in the league, this was their big. So they put in a humongous effort last year to give themselves a chance to prove that they could be league players, along with all the young lads, the Munsies of this world, and etc. etc. We got quite a few. So we are where we are at the minute. I'm going to probably put up a new league table for the second half of the season and see where we are in that. And if we're anywhere near midway, then it means we've got out of trouble. So I'll need a new attitude, a new confidence, a new everything going into the new year after Friday. But we must never forget what we did last year. So to answer your question, the promotion was a magnificent achievement by this football club, and we mustn't forget that.